How's it going, everybody? I am Howie Venom, and today I'm going to be playing some Dark Souls 1 Prepare to Die Edition. Now, I know it is 2015, and I know, nobody plays this game anymore, but I like this game, and I like this game a lot. This game has been always really fun for me. Let's name this character Howie. Let's do a male. I don't know, let's do a wanderer. Gift Master Key. I like to start out with the Master Key so I can usually, just, I like the Quellax Fury Sword, and I like to use it because it's a fun game, or it's a fun weapon. I like it. But let's get into this. Immerse ourselves in the Dark Souls 1 experience. Oh yeah, look at that. That beef jerky skin. Alright. I'm gonna explain some key mechanics right here. This is like parrying. Once you get a shield, I'll demonstrate it later on. If you have a weapon, you can shield. The A button is mainly the interaction button, whatnot. If you hold down B, or on the Xbox controller, I'm using an Xbox One controller at the moment for my computer. But let me explain this thing right here. This is called a bonfire. It's the main checkpoint. It's basically the checkpoints in the game. They let you do a bunch of different things. At this moment, it'll only let you level up, but normally it'll let you do a lot of other things. This is the door. Obviously, that's a door. Now, once I walk in here, nothing's gonna happen. But then, watch this. Bam! A giant asylum demon. What you're gonna want to do is you're not gonna want to deal with this guy just yet. You're gonna want to run to the left here into this little thing. That door is gonna shut, but you can still see it walking around and whatnot in there. Here's another bonfire right here. Now, usually they're not this close together, but since this is the tutorial, Dark Souls is going easy on us. If you run into this room right here, you're gonna face an archer. If you get hit by those, obviously those will do damage. Up in the top left corner, you can see your health bar, which is in the red, and the stamina bar, which is in the green. And every time I run, you can see the stamina goes down a little bit. When I roll, which is just tapping B, you can see it goes down quite a bit. Let me just equip my first weapon, which is the scimitar. Let me just go behind this guy. This is another pretty key, a key element of Dark Souls. If you go behind an enemy and click the attack button, the RB button for the Xbox controller, or the R1 button on the PS3 controller, you'll see that it will do a pretty cool animation that does a lot of damage, quite a bit of damage. I'm gonna let this guy talk because he explains a lot of stuff. I'm going to go ahead and choose yes.
Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus flask. An undead favorite.
And what he gave us here is the #1 healing item in the game. There's no other healing items in the game. There's a couple more healing miracles and whatnot, but this is your only healing item in the game besides a thing you'll come across later called a Divine Blessing, but that's for later on.
Oh, and this.
And he's also going to give us this key so we can progress.
Thank you.
And thank you, Sir Oscar of Astora. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try to show the mechanic of parrying, which is pressing the LT button on the Xbox controller. You see that? It'll put them in a quick animation of... Oh, that was a bad one, sorry. It'll put them in a weird animation that you can do damage to in a minute if I can stop getting hit. And if you press the RT button in the time where his weapon is kind of like flying away from him, it'll do that. That's the best type of attack you can do with the game. It does the most amount of damage. And as this thing explains right here, if you press Y, you can two-hand your weapon, which you would do more damage. If you press the left stick, if you press forward on the left stick and you have a weapon that's not a curved sword, you will do, if you have a curved sword, you'll do a cool little attack like that. But if you don't, if you have like a long sword or something like that, or you're just your fist, you'll do a kick that'll take down an enemy's shields. If you do this, if you press the forward on the left stick and RT, you'll do a jump attack like that. You can do it one-handed and two-handed. If you press the X button, you'll use your Estus Flask, which heals you somewhat. You can upgrade your Estus Flask and whatnot later on. I'm going to just parry this guy right quick. See how it does 146 damage? Well, I'm going to show you a backstab and show you the difference in damage on this guy right here once he gets out here. See how that did 115 damage and the other one did 146? Parrying does a lot more damage. I'm gonna two-hand my weapon here and show you. See how that does 64 damage? That only did 44 damage. I'm gonna come in here and parry this guy because souls. That only did 120 because these guys are a little bit stronger than the normal hollows. Those are actually enemies you'll face quite a lot in this game. Now, this is a pretty much like Dark Souls 101 right here. If you see a fog gate, you'll either be entering a new area or you will be entering a boss battle. What you're going to want to do is press forward on the forward and LT or RT on the controller at the same time to do a jump attack. That'll do the most damage to him, and then you're just going to... I prefer to just stay behind him because that does the most, like... He'll just keep doing that attack right there. And just keep going away at him. And what you'll see here is they start to just like fade away. This guy gives me the big Pilgrim's Key, which allows me to traverse that door right there. He also gives me a Humanity, which I'll explain. Humanity is in the top, if you look up in the upper left-hand corner, you will see a counter that at this moment reads 00. That is the amount of humanity I have at this very moment. Like, I call it soft humanity. I'm not the only person who calls it soft humanity. But at this moment, I call it soft humanity, which it's humanity that you just have lying around, basically. This I call hard humanity, which, again, I'm not the only person who does that. But, yeah, if you die, you lose all of your humanity and souls, which I'll explain souls. If you look in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you see mine reads 2,296, and that is the amount of souls I have. And as if you read that black text that was just across the screen, you would have read, it says in Lordran level up and something else. I forgot what it said. But at this moment, I'm going to level up, which, let me do the explanation. This is my character's name, level. This is the level I am, the soul level I am. It says value indicating overall stats, souls required to boost level. Souls required to boost level. Total souls. In possession, souls have various use but are left behind at the spot of one's death. What you do is when you die, you restart at the last bonfire that you rested at, and you have to run back to where you died, like around the area where you died, and you'll see a bloodstain that has a little green aura around it, and that's what it does. This is the required souls. Souls required to level up and boost one parameter, which means like if I put one into this, it'll take 707 souls from me. And if I do it again, I can level up multiple times here. I can level up 3 times. But at this point, and every time you level up, it will, like, this will raise a little bit. Like, if you look here, it does 707 at this point. But if I level up once, it'll take 724 souls to level up. And that keeps going on until your max level, basically, I'm pretty sure. Vitality, this is the HP, this is health, which is right here. Hit points, that the character dies when it hits 0. Attunement is the amount of spells you can carry at one time. Endurance is the speed, how much you can run, and how much you can attack before the whole green bar just runs out. Strength is the attack. Strength is what weapons use to... Let me just read it. Parameter required to wield powerful weapons. Also boosts weapon attack. Dexterity. Parameter required to wield advanced weapons. Also boosts weapon attack. Resistance. Parameter boosting defense and resistance to poison. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, resistance is basically useless. In my opinion. I mean, a lot of people in the Dark Souls 1 community believe that resistance is basically 100% useless. Well, not 100%, about 99.9% useless. Intelligence is the sorceries, like how well you can use sorceries, and some you have to have like a lot, like I know Crystal Soul Spear, I'm pretty sure it takes 45 intelligence, and I only have 11. Faith is miracles, which is like healing spells, lightning spear, and whatnot. Humanity, let me explain this. Number of black sprites within one's bosom symbolizes human nature and determines item discovery and resistance to curse. Item discovery is like when an enemy dies, it has a chance of dropping an item. Sometimes it could be armor, weapon, whatnot. And I'll explain the rest of this stuff later on throughout the playthrough. But at the moment, I'm only going to level up my vitality once, because I want to save these souls to buy a bow and arrow later, like in a few minutes. Right here, I'm going to pick up 3 humanities. Yeah, what I'm going to do now is talk to this guy because he gives me a gesture and he gives me the ability to join his covenant. This guy is a bit of a jerk. I'm not a huge 100% fan of him.
Hello there. I realize that I have requested that we retain our distance, but I also want you to know that it is not meant in ill will. Here, take this as a token of peace. No, go ahead. It's for you.
And he gave us a copper coin, which is basically useless.
You again? Oh, I know. How about this? I have to await my companions here anyway. So what if I were to teach you some miracles? Would that please you?
I'm gonna go ahead and say yes, because I might use some miracles. I'm not sure though. With the gods. This covenant is called the Covenant, or the Way of the White Covenant, I believe is what it's called. And what that does is basically just gives me the ability to buy miracles from this guy. If you have a lot of faith, it will do more damage and whatnot. See, there's a bunch. He sells a bunch of them. They're really expensive, as you can see, like 10,000 souls, 8,000 souls, 4,000, 2,000, and then 4,000. He also sells talismans, which you use to level up. Not to be confused with Lloyd's talismans, which just like make it to where people can't Estus Flask. That's a big PvP item right there. Let me go down here. This is a pretty good spot. Wait, no, I'm just joking. Let's go down here. There's some chests down here that are pretty good items. If you're new to the game, you can come down here and pick up some items. Homeward Bones allow you to go back to a bonfire without having to go all the way, like walk all the way back, like you use the item, and it's like the dark sign, except you don't use all of your items on use. Morningstar is not a bad weapon. Cracked red eye orbs are an online item, which you use to invade somebody else's world. Yeah, these are the Lloyd's talismans I was talking about a couple seconds ago. Those are just make it to where an enemy cannot Estus Flask. Now, I recommend staying away from this area like 100% for now. Like, just get those items and just run back. But I recommend going this way because they'll probably fall off if you come over here. Grab this item right here. And then just walk over here. Because they'll... Oh, I guess I'll fall off too. Luckily, I've played this game enough to know what to do, I guess you could say. But yeah, I recommend just coming across here or saving and quitting. Like, they'll go back to their original spot if you save and quit as well. I'm gonna rest at this bonfire again, and I'm gonna end the episode here. If you like this video, go ahead and leave a like. It really helps me out every way. And if you want to see more of this, I've also played the Escapists, or I also do play the Escapists every once, or like I've put up a video so far. And thank you guys for watching, and if you like it, go ahead and subscribe. It really helps me out in every way. I will talk to you guys in the next video. Goodbye.